Hello, Libby. Thank you so much for being here again. I'm so excited to have you back when you were having a new book. You're a very popular series writer amongst our Killing Time with Cozies group. I was like, oh, yes. We were talking about who we'd like to see, and then people were like, who would we like to see back? And it was like, Libby Klein, Libby Klein. And I'm like, okay.
Aw.
So we were very excited to have you back.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yes. And I know everybody's highly anticipating your next book. I've been caught up and ready. I'm ready to go.
It's a fun one. I've been very excited. I get worried every time a book comes out. I don't know if like you all realize how much the author, well, at least me, I get very anxious. What if they don't like it? I've been very blessed that with every new book, I keep seeing the reviews saying each one gets better and better. Each one gets better and better. And I'm like, oh God, what if eventually it's like, this one was okay. So I'm like, oh, but the reviews that have come out have been extremely positive. People have loved it. They reminded me of things because I've written another book since this. So I forget some of the things. I remember doing them. I just don't remember which book they're in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This one has an especially fun story for Sir Figaro that I know you guys are going to love. My Figaro fans are going to love what's happening with Figaro. So it was fun.
Yeah, and I the first time I interviewed, I had just read through book 4, and I think 5 you're like, oh boy, because 5 ends, you're like, and I read it maybe like a week later, and I think I remember like tweeting you or something, and I was like, all right, we need to talk.
Yes.
Not cool.
Yes.
So
yes.
It was great. It was great. I don't mean, but
I got a lot of tweets and a lot of Facebook messages. What are you doing? So since Beauty Expos has come out, I'm not getting those anymore because now when you get to that point in the book that you're like, I'm going to kill her, you can just pick up the next book immediately.
Yeah. And that's why I was so happy that I was a little behind where I could just pick up the very next book and figure out what in the bananas was going on. So wanted to say hi. Feel free to ask any questions just like last time. Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. Storm.
Hi.
Occasion. It's good to see you. Hi, Hannah. Hannah took off work to be here so she could to see you. And
that's so
she's
sweet.
A big fan of your books. Hey, Mel Mac. Every time I see the name, I think of the planet Alf was from.
Yes,
was from Mel
I
Mac.
did too. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, like Alf.
Right. She wasn't going for that, but I still think it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Hey, Anita.
Hi, guys.
I love your books. Oh,
you guys are so sweet.
They are. Oh, Cation says, oh, I adore Fig. Yay.
Well, you're going to love Antique Auctions then. He's very, very naughty in Antique Auctions.
I love Figaro. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, spoiler alert, when Mischief Nights Our Murder comes out, oh, that's probably the height of the Figaro chaos is going to be Mischief Nights, which will be several months from now. But I can't say too much. I don't want to spoil it, but it is crazy. For people who have read the book that comes out after Antique Auctions, Figaro's storyline is their favorite one.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of Figaro fans. Not as much as Libby fans, but Figaro has Figaro and Aunt Jenny have a hot, passionate following. So
yes, I adore Aunt Jenny and the Biddies. Oh, they're amazing. Yes, I love them. The Poppy McAllister series comes highly recommended by Tiffany and others in the group. I read Class Reunions Are Murder, and I'm currently halfway through Theater Nights Are Murder, and I just adore these. Yay!
Thank you. Theater Nights Are Murder was up until that point, I would say that one was my most fun book that I love. Theater Nights Are Murder. Not only do I have the background in theater, so a lot of the stuff that I put in there is stuff that I firsthand have done, working in the light booth, working on stage, designing sets. So it was a very easy book to write from the perspective of I understand. I actually have a varsity letter in drama, which is the only varsity letter I was ever going to get in my life. But I have that. And that one was so much fun. But the biddies with that octogenarian task force to take down a killer, I just find that is so hilarious. That was one of my most fun books to write.
I agree. I am very attracted to series that have like an older clan like that, like what you're talking about, the biddies, or there's several other series that will have like that, and I just adore it. It's an amazing. But I have a thing for seniors, so anytime there's like any seniors in books or anything, especially when they're like feisty and like Aunt and Ginny, I'm usually there for it.
Yes, I do too. And I did not read a lot of cozy mystery series when I started out, and I didn't know what was in a lot of cozy series. I was a big romance novel reader and a big fantasy reader. And the reason that I chose to write a cozy was because it is a genre where there is no language or sex. And I know people who are writers who wanted to write, say, a romance, but they didn't want to write sex. And there's a lot of pressure from the publisher, because if it's a romance, they almost want it to be erotica. Now, 50 Shades of Grey is now its own category. But I didn't want to have to do that. And so the cozy mystery was going to be a very safe category for me. So I didn't know a whole lot about what other writers have. So when I made up Aunt Ginny, she's based on my grandmother, and the biddies are her real life friends. I didn't realize what a big thing this was going to be. And people are always recommending fabulous series for me, like, oh, you will love this one with their biddies and this one with their. I had no idea.
Yes.
The only thing I knew was this cozy mystery standard was a cat.
Yes. Have you gotten into reading more cozies? You said when you first started writing, you were reading more fantasy and romance. Do you read more cozies now?
I read more cozies because I know the authors.
Yeah.
So I'm friends with a lot of authors who write cozy mysteries. I love Ellen Byron's Cajun series. I love her what is her name?
Maria
I know it's right
Maria,
there. Her New York series. The fact that I'm going blank is not because I don't love it. It's because I will go blank on random things.
Yeah. So, no, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the catering series, the town hall catering series thing.
Very, very cute. And I love Cynthia Kuhn has a series, her Scholastic series, Academia, where she's a college professor. And there's a series that you may not even have heard of because he is so underground. His name is Colin Conway, and he writes the Cozy Up series. And it is the most different cozy series I have ever seen because his protagonist is an ex-biker assassin in witness protection.
Oh my God.
It's fabulous. I just adore it. So it's like one of my favorites.
No, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. We'll have to take it down and look on Goodreads, because I am always open for new series. So I know that you have Antiques coming out next week. Is it next week?
It's the 22nd. Yeah, it's like in a week.
Right? And then we have a number 8. And then what will happen from there?
So the way that publishing works with traditional publishing is that now you have fulfilled your contract, right? Because I was contracted to book 8. And now you're in wait and see. So here's the options. My publisher is Kensington, and they will say to me, we want 2 more books or 3 more books. That's one option. Another option is we think the series is done. Now, I don't agree with that because I have 2 more books in my heart. So now that means that I either will self-publish the last 2 books or I will shop them to another publisher. So I'm hopeful. I mean, if the series doesn't continue at a publisher, it's because of the sales numbers. And the sales might be good, but they might need them to be great. They might need whatever they need. You might not make that. And if you're like in the tier of books that it comes below the need, then the series won't be contracted. But that doesn't mean the series ends. It's up to you. You can keep going, as long as you want. I can write 100 more books if I want. I would have to shop them to another publisher or self-publish them. So I'm very hopeful. And Kensington's a big publisher. It's considered to be a small publisher, but of the independent small publishers, it's a big one.
Yes, absolutely. And, I am very thankful for self-publishing because I've had a lot of authors that picked up series that had been over, that they didn't get picked up. And then, some time has gone by and self-publishing has gotten so big that they were like, hey, I could do that. We're like, yeah, I've had a few that I can think of that's like re-up their, series. And I think that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Now, is there, you can just wink or, nod. Is there any like new kind of series that you're thinking about writing? Anything like that?
So I've been thinking about an idea for a new series. I've actually been offered, it's been mentioned. Do you want to write something else? Like we'll do something else too. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If publishers do something else, is that good? I don't know. It might be like, we know you're not getting renewed, but I hope that's not it. But we'll see.
I don't think that's it.
So I've got a couple of ideas. I've been toying with the idea. Do I want to market as a cozy? Because if you guys read Gina DeLeon's series, her Louisiana Longshot series, or her, I'm going to get the name wrong, Marina in Midlife, I think it is. I heard about Gina DeLeon through my readers. I had readers asking me in a group, have you read her? Because you sound a lot like her. And I had not. And I'm shocked that I'd never heard of her, which now it's not a diss on the author that you haven't heard of them. There's just a bajillion authors.
Absolutely.
So I went out and I got her first book and I was like, oh my God, we do sound a lot alike. Like if you like my voice, you'll probably like Janet DeLeon. The difference, of course, with Janet DeLeon and the other series that I'm compared to a lot, which is the Janet Ivanovich Stephanie Plum series.
Yes.
Because we take place in a very, very similarly. She's just like 45 minutes up the road from where my books take place. I had never read either one of them before I wrote my book.
Okay.
Had no idea. Class Reunions was coming out when I first read One for the Money. And I didn't know. So any similarities in these two series, I had no idea. And it happens to me all the time when I read other people's books and they're similar to mine that came out after mine. They probably didn't know. It's just one of those things that happens to us. But both of those series are similar to mine, except mine are clean. That's the difference. They're not cozy, so they have language. They might have sex. Mine don't. So I have considered trying to market mine more as suspense, but they're still going to be clean. I mean, they're still not going to have language and sex in them because that was the whole point in the first place, right? Of writing the Cozies, so they would be clean. So you have to be clever about your language. You have to be subtle about your flirting, and you have to just be smarter with your language and your situations. I think it's very easy to throw F-bombs out there when, if you're relying on higher intellect to find ways of being subtle with your anger and your language that you're going to use. So it's a challenge, but I'm definitely up for it.
That's awesome. The Louisiana Longshot was my favorite book of 2021. I just read it. It was my favorite book of the year. The Stephanie Plum, have you been reading it now?
I don't have a lot of time to read because of writing, but I think I had read, because I started in 2018 after Class Reunions. People started saying to me, this reminds us of that. So I think I got up to 9, maybe 9.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I do know I like them. I like a love triangle. Doesn't bother me any. I do know her series is one of them that caused me a lot of flack for a 4-book love triangle. I think she's on like 29 now, and I think they're still in the love triangle.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like, people were like wanting to punch me in the face for a love triangle. I'm like, it's 4 books. Just go with me here. I promise it's not long. So, but yeah, that Stephanie Plum series is one of them, I think, that has like burned the arc for the love triangle.
For sure. Yes, it has. Ooh, Cajun said, I just finished Theater Nights of Murder on Friday.
Yay.
Awesome, Cajun. Hi, Raquel.
movie.
I don't know what CMC.
Cozy Mystery Crew.
Oh, thank you.
It's our group. It's our group on Facebook where we take posting every week, Tuesday through Friday. One of us comes on there and tries to think of some way to entertain you all without repeating everything everybody else just said. It's hard, especially around holidays when you're like, "Hey, it's Christmas. Allow me to be the 11th author to ask you what your favorite Christmas candy is." So we have to find new ways of like just hanging out and having fun with our readers without
that's so cool.
going over the same stuff all the time. And Raquel is one of my buddies over there.
Hi, Raquel. That's so cool. I had never heard of that. Well, we'll have to.
She's a fantastic Caribbean kitchen series.
I have yes. I haven't read it, but it's on my TBR because anytime I see anything with like a new location, then I'm like, oh, I got to read that. Because I just feel like I'm so glad that we're starting to branch out to some of these other. I'm just super excited about it.
I feel exactly the same. Yeah. I love new series, like new locations. I am dying to read Vivian Chen's Noodle Shop series.
So in the new series that you just have an idea, I know you can't maybe say anything, but just blink twice if it maybe involves an amusement park.
No. But it would involve, I think you told me about your idea before with the amusement park. No, you have a great idea. No, it's not that. No, it would heavily involve music though.
Ooh.
Music is one of my superpowers. I have two superpowers. One is I can taste something and I can tell you what's in it. I mean, unless you put something in there that I have literally never had. But like if it's a spice, a seasoning, it could be like rose oil. But I can tell you, of course, you guys probably should all know what rose oil tastes like because it tastes like it smells. But I have a very strong sense of smell. So I can taste things and tell you what's in it. My other superpower is I can name that tune. For 70s and 80s music, I can name that tune so fast. And unless it's a one-hit wonder, I can probably tell you who the group is. The other day, I heard something. It's new. I'm almost positive it's like out right this minute. Like this is how new it is. I could be totally wrong on that, but I think it's right now. And whatever the song was, I knew it was brand new. And I'm like, that sounds like Ozzy Osbourne. But it was like a duet. Like he's singing with somebody else. Like it wasn't Michael Bublé, but let's just say Michael Bublé. And sure enough, I Spotify that. So it's Ozzy Osbourne. So I just have an ear for music. So music would be a part because those are two things. Now those are superpowers, but then I also have places where I am horrific. Like I can't whistle. I don't understand how you guys are whistling. I don't know what you're doing. I tried to do it. That's definitely not right. And I will kill plants. I have a black thumb. I've done everything right. You can give me a list of what to do. It doesn't appreciate my efforts at all. Whatever it is going to die. It's going to be, and I can't lose weight. And I'm talking like, girl, in high school, I was anorexic. Nobody knew. They couldn't tell because I would go 10 days with zero food, would not lose 1 pound. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? So I'm like, there are things that I just have no ability for, but the music I'm pretty good at. So we'll see. That's hopefully coming one day.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Of course, if I do write my next Poppy McAllister, the one I've written that you all don't know about is Mischief Nights, which is Halloween.
Ooh, I love holiday cozies.
Antique auctions. The one that's coming out in a week, it's the height of summer. Okay. In summer, in the Jersey Shore, running a bed and breakfast is absolute chaos.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Constant tourists. There are things that the tourists do to Poppy that I did not make up. I mean, it is pretty crazy. And it was so much fun. But just things like every time she comes home, somebody's parked in front of her driveway. Just little things like that are frustrating. I did not make this up. I grew up in Cape May. I can tell you this stuff legit happens, at least up until COVID when numbers kind of became more reasonable. I think 3,000 people lived in Cape May and 30,000 come to visit in the summer every day. So I didn't make a lot of it up. A lot of it, I'm just telling you, this is what it's like. So it's a lot of fun, antique auctions. And the antique show at Cold Spring Village is real. Auctions in Cape May County are real. The auction house being next to Cold Spring Village, totally fake. In fact, I'm almost positive I know the guy who lives across the street from Cold Spring Village. He made his house an auction house, but I'm pretty sure I know him. But anyways, so that's fun. So Mischief Nights, the one that I've just turned in, is, thank you. Yes, Poppy does have her hands full. That right there, Melmac, secret of the series. Poppy is just trying to keep it all together while they run chaos around her.
Absolutely.
But Mischief Night, I didn't know this until I came up with the idea for my Halloween themed book. Everybody don't know what that is. It's a regional thing. Mischief Night is the night before Halloween. This is a real thing. It's a real thing in Cape May, in that whole area. I think it's probably a lot of the culture of Cape May is from Philly because it's not that far away. So Mischief Night is a thing in that area, but the rest of the country does not do Mischief Night.
No, I've never heard of that.
Now, some of them do at Mischief Night called something else, like Prank Night. And there was another one, I forget what it is, like Devil's Night or something. I forget. But Mischief Night, Trick or Treat is supposed to be Halloween. They go door to door. They ask for candy. If they don't get candy, they toilet paper the house. No. Mischief Night, they're making sure the toilet papering happens. They do it all on Mischief Night the night before. Then they come back on Halloween and ask for candy. So they're covering their bases in South Jersey. So Mischief Night is the night before when they smash the pumpkins, throw the toilet paper, egg the house, whatever prank, it's going to happen the night before Halloween. So Mischief Nights or Murder is my Halloween book. And there is some crazy stuff in there. I am always shocked at what comes out of my head. I'm like, I've invented events that I'm thinking they need to do this for real. Why are we doing a midnight Easter egg hunt? That's fabulous.
Absolutely. There are times when I do, I read about festivals or whatever that are completely fiction in books. I'm like, they should do that.
Yeah, that should be real. Hello, why aren't we doing this? What is the name of the place? Convention Hall, Congress Hall. Congress Hall, midnight Easter egg hunt for charity. Let's get on that. I will sign up right now.
That would be awesome.
But the one that I haven't started on, the one that I'm fingers crossed, the series will be extended. My next book is Christmas, Silent Nights or Murder.
Excellent. Holiday cozies are one of my favorites. So that is Halloween coming up. Then, yeah, absolutely. Maria DeRico. I said DeMarco.
Oh,
thank you.
Please don't tell Ellen I couldn't think of Maria's last name because she is one of my friends and I should have known that. But yes, Maria DeRico. I love that series as well. And then Raquel's Caribbean Kitchen series is right there on my list. But I have a lot of fabulous cozy mystery writers over in the Cozy Mystery Crew. They write some great books and we represent most of the country because we've got people here on the East Coast with me, like Sherry Randall, who's now writing as Mary Allen up in New England. And then you've got JC Eaton is in Arizona.
Love that series, the Sophie Kimball. Oh,
yes. And I mean, Ellen's hit both coasts because she's got the Louisiana and she's got the New York, and she's coming from LA. I'm not going to say anything more about an LA series, but she lives in LA. She lives so I'm sure.
Storm, did you hear that?
She's got great series, and they're all very funny, which I like. That's my main thing. I love the locations and I love holiday cozies, but my main thing is I like funny. I like things that are funny.
Absolutely.
Which you might know about me.
Absolutely. That's what keeps me. That's some of my favorite series is because they have the humor in them. I just love them.
Yeah, me too.
It cracked me up when Aunt Biddy said, "We know you call us the Biddies." Aunt Jenny, I'm sorry, Aunt Jenny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she called her out. They thought they were keeping that a secret. Well, wait till you see what happens in Mischief Nights with that whole calling us the Biddies thing.
Oh my goodness. They're my favorite. I've got Restaurant Weeks or Murder on my TBR. I'm enjoying the series so much. Yeah, Susan G. It's awesome.
I actually think Restaurant Weeks is out for reprint.
Oh.
When a book goes for reprint, all of a sudden the price becomes untenable on Amazon. It's like $36. I think I saw one. I was like, all right, well, that's not real. So, and the ebook, I don't know, they're very tricky with those ebooks. Because right now, Antique Auctions comes out in a week. So Class Reunions is $2.99 if you like an ebook. And then Theater Nights, Wine Tastings, and Beauty Expos, 99 cents.
Oh,
Series and you're not caught up, just go buy the ebooks now because they're 99 cents. But they totally skipped two and three, which is always sus. So I think they skipped number 3 because they're reprinting it.
oh, that's I feel like sometimes they do that on different things to get you to buy or like buy for, I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's like, hey, look, this book is 99 cents. Why don't you try it out? And if you like it, the next one's $8.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing.
You know, which is, I mean, I mean, it's no different than any other business sense in the end, you know, I mean, but.
Yeah. And I have absolutely nothing to do with it. Every once in a while, someone asks for something like giving away books in Australia. I would love to give books away to my Australian readers, but Amazon makes it impossible. Well, see, self-published authors can give away whatever they want whenever they want because they own it. I don't own it. Like Kensington has to make that available. I can't give away ebooks. I can buy you an ebook here in the United States and I can gift it to you, but I can't even buy it for somebody in Australia because it's impossible for them to collect it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like self-published authors, that's one of the big benefits. They can send you whatever they want. I don't own anything to send you. I mean, I could send you a Word document. How I wrote it, but you probably don't want that.
Wow. That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to both forms of publishing for sure. But that is definitely one of the pluses of self-publishing is they can, if you're like, hey, send me an ebook, like, there you go. We just emailed it to you. I got nothing to email you. So,
wow.
And Restaurant Weeks was fun. Restaurant Weeks was based on Chopped. And I hadn't watched Chopped. I had not watched Chopped. I love old school cooking shows. My favorite forever was Good Eats by Alton Brown.
Yeah.
And the Naughty G, Bitchin' Kitchen, loved it. But like competition shows like Cupcake Wars and let's make something that looks fabulous, but nobody will ever want to eat it. That's not me. Very popular. Lots of people love them. So Chopped, I start watching and they're like, and in this basket, we have lime jello, a cow's tongue, asparagus tips, and Krispy Kreme donuts. And then they finish making something. They're like, this isn't good. I'm like, what did you expect it was going to taste like? Of course it's not good. There's no way that's ever going to be good. It's disgusting. But the judges are always like, no. And I'm like, put better things in the basket, dude. That's going to help. But yeah, Poppy gets into a Chopped competition, but not Chopped, like, like local Cape May Chopped for Chef Week. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And that's the one book where, I make up my recipes, my gluten-free recipes. After book 1, I make them up. I mean, book 1 is like guacamole. Okay, who can't make up guacamole? But like from that point on, I've made up the recipes. And for the Restaurant Weeks, they were very hard because I had to come up with something that I could then reverse engineer with weird ingredients.
Oh.
Like no-bake passion fruit cheesecake that I used agar-agar to thicken it. So things like that where I had to think, what weird stuff can I put in the food to be able to make a recipe that Poppy had to make? And then I hope, I don't remember now, I think in the back of the book, I at least put normal ways to make stuff and not weird stuff because nobody wants to buy agar-agar to make a cheesecake. It's just weird.
Well, I'm thinking that may be a superpower too, because anybody that can like create like just random recipes like that. And then especially when you're using like all these restrictions, it's crazy to me. I mean, I don't know who comes up with it. I had to go on this weird autoimmune diet and it was so restrictive. And I'm supposed to be doing it. I'm supposed to still be on it. I just am not. But anyways, I had to make tomato sauce out of beets and carrots. And it was delicious.
It is, yes.
No joke. Absolutely delicious. Tasted just like tomato sauce.
It does.
It's hard to tell the difference. It looks a little different. But other than that, I mean, honest to gosh, it's hard to tell the difference. And I'm like, who in there came up with this idea and made it work? But it does. It's delicious.
That's one of the better recipes. That's bolognese with the beets. That's a really good recipe for sure. Well, your brain will trick you into what you think you're eating. They did this test one time on people to see how much visually was influencing them. And they had sheet cakes, and each sheet cake had different color icing. They were all the identical sheet cake. It was just all food coloring. And yet they taste tested people and they swore that one tastes like strawberry, that one tastes like lime, that one tastes like chocolate. It was 100% food coloring. Then they brought them back without their masks on, and they could see, and they're like, that's just vanilla, and that's just vanilla, and that's just vanilla. Now, like when they could actually not see it, they could tell. I think I might have said all that wrong, guys. If they could see it, they thought they were tasting flavors, but when they were blindfolded, they thought it was all vanilla. Your eyes trick you. So you see what looks like bolognese, and you're like, that's bolognese. And you're like, the meat that's made out of, I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it's not animal.
It's not meat.
Yeah. It's beet juice that they put in there to simulate blood. I'm not sure why it's a selling point, but it is. It's like, I feel like I could have had that part left out for me. Like,
right.
I mean,
right. I think that you're right. I think to a certain extent, because I also made cheese made out of squash, and let me tell you, my eyes weren't fooling me.
There is no.
There is this line.
Yeah.
And
cheese.
And I love squash.
Yeah.
It is not cheese.
No.
And cheese is the line.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because like I've told people, the one that I do is gluten-free. I'm always gluten-free. Gluten-free is not hard. It's hard to eat out, but it's not hard to be gluten-free. I can make you anything gluten-free. You won't even know it's gluten-free. It's the cheese. That's where the problem is. And that autoimmune diet, you can't have tomato sauce, which you don't realize how much you eat tomato until you can't have it. And you can't have cheese, and you're like, and you can't have bread. Well, that right there, that's 90% of what I want to eat. So what's left? And it's like, you can have all the kale you want. Well, yippee. Who wants to eat a big bowl full of kale 3 times a day? Yes. So it is a hard diet for sure.
Yes. And boy, that cheese. I just pre-ordered Antique Auctions or Murder yesterday. That's awesome, Mel.
Thank you. I know you're going to love it. It is really fun.
Susan,
really?
Murder was my favorite so far of the 3 I finished reading. Excellence.
I mean, Aunt Jenny and the biddies in the stands watching the cooking. I mean, they're just so naughty, but they're so much fun. And Aunt Jenny can make an entrance.
I mean, they are ornery. That's why I love them. Honestly, I tend to, like I said, like any of the series that have like the group of people that are just causing nonsense, the group of elderly people that really aren't trying to be. They're just,
they're living their lives.
They're doing their thing. Yeah.
They're having a good time. I mean, I really like the idea, and what birthed the idea of how naughty Aunt Jenny and the biddies are and how active they are. Because in the first book, they're not so much naughty as much as they are busy. I mean, I think one of them probably, if I'm not mistaken, one of them started a fire in the fire department at Bingo because she was smoking an illegal cigarette. And I don't mean like marijuana. I mean like you're just not allowed to smoke in the fire department. She was doing it anyways. And she set someone's wig on fire. I'm pretty sure that happened in class reunions. But they are like, I'm in my 80s. I'm doing what I want. And I just love that they're active and going out and doing things, and that they're not home just saying life is over. And I feel like that's how it should be, because I've had some great examples in my life of people who are just going to stay active and going to, do the cruise. I mean, like the Golden Girls, they weren't sitting around. They were like playing shuffleboard and putting on plays. And I mean, to me, that's how life should be. I know that I have family who are disabled, and I'm, there's a lot of challenges that go with that. And now you've got to make fun some other way. And the fun might be, watching game shows. If that's your thing, then you watch some game shows. Yeah. Auntie loves Wheel. You got to watch Wheel.
I'm not supposed to say my grandmother lives very close to me. We made sure that we built really close to her. I'm not supposed to say how old she is anymore on here, so I won't. But she's around, she's in the Aunt Jenny gang. Let's just say that. Yeah. And she will say, when I hit 80, I could say whatever I want. So here goes. And that's her thing. She's like, I don't have to hold my tongue anymore. I'm like, yes, yes, you do. When you're out in public, yes, yes, you do.
I feel like now maybe we should start holding it a little bit more, just a little more. Yeah, no.
Luckily, she's so sweet that she really wouldn't say anything that's too, like, but yes, exactly. Especially now. I'm like, yeah, you do. You can't. Yeah, no.
No. My mom says some of the awful things. She just, there is no filter. She's like, oh, that's cute. I didn't know they made that in your size.
Oh.
I remember one time this lady said to her, I'm not feeling well. My heart is skipping. Well, you'll probably go to the emergency room later. Lady, come on. So, I mean, I don't know how much of it is I'm just not going to hold my tongue and how much of it is I didn't realize I needed to.
Yeah. I did think, on the second one, I did think you were going to say something else when she said, I'm not feeling well. I thought she was going to say, well, you don't look like you are. And I was so you're going to go to the ER is a little, well, I don't know if it's nicer, but maybe, yeah, I don't know.
She could say you don't look good. Absolutely. That would not, she wouldn't even pause on that. Wouldn't even slow her down. Yeah, you don't look good.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Taylin. It's good to see you.
Hi.
I would love to see the Poppy McAllister series go on for years and years to come. No series makes me laugh like these do. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
They are, and I compare them when I talk about them. I kind of compare them with those series, exactly what you said, with the humor, with Stephanie Plum, and without maybe cars exploding.
Right.
Although you never know what's going to happen. The biddies, you never know.
If somebody could explode a car, it would definitely be Enchanting the Biddies could cause a car to explode with some way. Yes, absolutely. Oh, what is it? Beauty expos. Beauty expos. They kind of get into some trouble buying some products that it's not their fault. It was not their fault. The way the products were marketed, they didn't know how much trouble they were going to cause. Not their fault. But once they found out, didn't slow them down. Wasn't a deal breaker for them. So I won't spoil that for you, but that was fun. That was my grandmother 100% would get into trouble with that. She wouldn't even know.
G said, Mel thinks can't wait to start it. Taylin said, I never realized how nice it is to have a clean book. And I think that is why Cozies are my go-to for comfort reads. That's exactly why I go to Cozies. I made a video this morning that's going up about where to start if you're new to Cozies. And one of the things I said was, I'm not like I don't feel like I'm a total prude. I read stuff outside of Cozies and I'm fine with that stuff. I don't want it in my Cozies though. I want my Cozies to stay cozy. I want to be able to go to them and pick them up. And exactly, I just feel like it's the same thing. If I go to read a fantasy book, I don't want to be reading a Western. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going in with these expectations. And, I don't want to read a Jack Reacher and he's, dealing with the biddies and rolling down the street. You know what I mean? Like,
I do. We just went to see Death on the Nile last night. It was fabulous. But there are people who are very offended at an opening dance scene. And I will say, I was also shocked at the dance scene, but all I was thinking was, I don't think people danced like this in 1940. I'm pretty sure that nobody would have done this. And like a car pulled up outside, I'm thinking, is that going to be the Vice Squad? Because they're all going to be arrested if that's So I was just so like confused by, I don't think any of this would happen. Like none of this is accurate. But once you get past that, it was fabulous. So, but I agree. I love a clean book. Anybody can throw out a bunch of F words. It's not hard to throw out a bunch of F words. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but you can. It's easy to just type them. It's hard to be clever. Yeah, it's hard to find ways of expressing things without just throwing out a whole bunch of expletives. It's a lot harder to be clever about it. So I think it's one way that cozy mysteries are underappreciated and undervalued is the effort and the cleverness it takes to avoid how easy it could be to put in just a bunch of cuss words and a bunch of people shooting each other. Anybody can explode a car. I mean, Aunt Ginny and the Biddies, when they do it, it's going to be fabulous. But anybody can just explode a car, shoot a bunch of people while running, and shout a bunch of F words. We see it constantly and everything else. But, you know, trying to have somebody, you know, get themselves into trouble because of a loan sharking scheme they're doing in the back room. Okay, that takes a little bit more cleverness when, you know, the biddies are like trying to learn salsa dancing or some of the other dancing that they're going to learn as the series goes on.
Oh my goodness. You know, so we were just talking last night because there was a book, and I think it's, you know, just, it doesn't matter which one it was, but anyways, it's a cozy, but it had a trigger, and it had trigger warnings. I had trigger warnings for some pretty dark things, and we were all talking about it, and we were and a group of us on the Killing Time Cozies, and we're like, you know, we just want our cozies to stay cozy. They're, you know, those themes. I pick up cozies to kind of escape some of those things. I work in social services and see a lot of dark things anyways. And we all have, you know, experienced the last 2 years of this world and, you know, all these things. And one of my friends was perfect. She said, I want my cozies with a side of a tea shop and a nice cup of coffee and not trigger warnings or something like that. It was brilliant. I was like, yes, 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 yes. It was so funny and so well put.
Yeah, we have a lot of stress to fight right now, and I think everybody just wants to be happy.
Yeah.
That's why we're like starting Christmas in August now. I mean, we just want to be happy and have something fun.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why cozies have just exploded in the last couple of years on the market to where they want more and more. I sold all of the first antique auctions. Yeah, 7. All 7 of the books that are out are audiobooks. And only the first book was sold as an audiobook when it came out. The other 6 sold as audiobooks during COVID because people couldn't get enough audiobooks of cozies because they're fun. And mine are fun. Mine are very fun and light. They're not serious. I work very hard to give you guys a good, solid mystery. I really, especially, I'm not going to tell you what, but wine tastings, that was masterful. Okay. I mean, I had 3 experts help me with what happens in wine tastings. That was very like hard to figure out, but I try to make it something challenging and fun. So it's not just fluff. There's real mystery there. There's real storylines. And I have a lot more social issues than I realized in my books. I didn't even realize how many of them were there with things like, you know, elder abuse and kidnapping, but not trigger warning stuff. Like there's no trigger warning stuff. Although, I'm going to be brutally honest, I was very shocked to hear somebody say there should have been trigger warnings in one of my books. And when they said why, that is not at all what is written there. That's what they read, but that is not what was written. So I was kind of surprised about that. They had to explain where it was because I'm like, there's none of that in that book. And then when they said what, I'm like, oh, okay, well, they just misunderstood that then. So, you know, we want things that are fun and light and take us away on a vacation and things that are not grieving. We don't want things that are grieving.
Absolutely.
And the real world ugly things that are going to be grieving because there's crime, right? There's definitely crime. I don't want to focus on the horrors of it. To say this happened. No, let's catch the bad guy that did it.
Yes. And yes, yes, exactly. This just popped in my mind. I'm very like all over the place sometimes. And so I just have to tell you, yesterday I finished a Beatles cozy mystery.
Oh,
we're talking about music earlier. I'm sorry. It just caught up with me in my brain. And if I don't say it now, then I'll forget. I just finished a Beatles cozy.
Like the Beatles, the group is like, they're
no. So the main character worked for the Beatles when she was like 17. She did like their fan club. And she's like thinking back to when she was working for them. It was great. It was really good. It was really good.
Fun. Like, you know, anything with music. JC Kenney has a new series that is a music shop.
Oh, and that's cool.
Record store. My idea is not a record store, so don't panic. Nobody panic. But yeah, he has a record store. I'm sure that I will absolutely love it because he must love music. And you know, I love when you get the references to something, you know, like if it's something you're passionate. Like if I read a scrapbooking or a knitting or crocheting book, you can make up any old stuff. I'm not going to know what you're talking about. I won't know if that's a real thing. I don't have the slightest idea how to knit or crochet and all the little names for the things people do in scrapbooking. I don't know what any of that is. So you can do anything you want and I'll believe it. But like, you can't make up some stuff about music and like put together like songs and artists that don't go together. Be like, that is not how that happened. That is not me saying that. So it's fun. I'm looking forward to his series. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That is awesome. And now I'm thinking about a series where the band of like a historical band is actually like a Beatles actually investigating.
I was like, are the Beatles investigating? That would be so interesting.
Oh
Ringo is like, I don't believe that he's the killer. I believe it was done in the conservatory.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hannah said, same Matt giggled through the series. Yes, it is laugh out loud funny, which is my, yeah. Oh, your series also reminds me, but I only finished book 2, a lot of the Jane Austen. There's a lot of Jane with an I.
I've read some of those.
Mysteries with an I.
I've read some of those. They're fun. Cat Prozac.
Yes. They're very fun. Their humor in it is, very much the kind of the what I'm looking for, and a lot like all those other series we talked about.
Yes.
Mel said, Hannah, I say if you're having a bad day, pick up a poppy book. It'll cheer you up. Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you.
That's so nice. Hey Ross, she said, love Libby's series. Poppy is hilarious, and she has to deal with a lot with her aunt and the biddies.
Yes,
absolutely. I hope it's not a spoiler, but I can't even remember which book it was in because I read all of them like back to back to back. I read like 2 before the interview because the interview originally was arranged by somebody else that had some family stuff come up. So I read 2 like in a big hurry before I interviewed her the first time. And I love them so much that I like binged the entire rest of the series, like one after the other.
Aww.
So it's hard when you do that to remember which book is which, like what happened in which book.
Same. Yeah, same.
Right. The thing that I always think about, I hope it's not a spoiler, but the one where Aunt Jenny was leaving the stuff was going on outside in the community and we didn't know what was happening. There was some, I don't know what I can say and not give anything away, but
sounds like Midnight Snacks.
Yes, it has to be Midnight Snacks because there was sleepwalking involved.
Yes.
Which
is a spoiler on the cover. They put it on the back of the cover. I was like, I worked so hard to make it a secret, like that. This is like the big first act reveal, and then I get the book and I read the cover. I'm like, that was like a secret. They put it right on the cover. So yes. Yeah,
I always feel bad. Like, what should you say and what should you not say? Because you don't want to spoil anything. And I was thinking about, I was talking about a book earlier in one of my videos that I was filming, and I was saying, this is book 1, and I was like, spoiler. I hope this isn't a spoil, but she stays. And then I was like, there's 8 books. If you haven't figured out that she stays in the town, like. Yes.
It is very hard to keep things secret when the series continues. Like, the big ending in the first book. This is a spoiler. She's going to turn Anthony's house to bed and breakfast. I know this is a spoiler, but you can't possibly not know that when you know every other book that comes after has to do with running a bed and breakfast.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like there's no, once the second book is out, that spoiler is there. The chickens are gone. There's nothing you can do. So, yes. And it's not going to be long before the man issues. There's no way not to spoil it. There's just no way not to spoil it. I mean, you gotta don't read the reviews, which sounds very like, why? How bad are your reviews? Well, no, the reviews have so many spoilers. The reviews, if you read the reviews, you will everything you've ever wanted to know about the book, you're gonna find out in a review. So stuff.
Yeah, I try to stay away for those reasons. And really, I don't know if it's just certain publishers, or I don't even know how synopsises are written. Like if they're written by you. Do you write the synopsis for the books on the back cover?
I do, but they changed them. Like I did not put on the back cover of Midnight Snacks what was going on. But I think they must have felt like this doesn't sound intriguing enough. So let's say Aunt Jenny's sleepwalking. And I'm like, but I didn't want them to know that. So
because there's been a lot lately that feels like it reveals way too much. And I'm like, I was just looking for a general idea. I didn't want to know, like, I wanted to go in and learn that for myself as a reader. And it wasn't any of your books I'm thinking of specifically, but I don't know, how that works. I don't know if all authors write their own synopsis, but and what you're saying, they might get changed even if they do because they're adding
Right.
things. But like, I'm like, I don't want all that in my synopsis.
I write the synopsis, but you write the first draft of the synopsis. And then when you see it again, you'll be like, oh, my publisher sent me the synopsis that the team there had, they'd massaged what I'd sent in for beauty expos. And I was like, whoa, no, you can't put any of that on here. Anybody who picks this up who hasn't read Wine Tastings, you just ruined the entire book for them. So he was like, I had a feeling that was saying too much.
Yeah.
They did something similar on Antique Auctions. They wanted to put on the back of the book who dies and how you find out. And I'm like, I kind of like you to be surprised with who dies. So, I like I said, they asked me to write it, but then they change it. And I think their whole goal is, how do we make it sound more interesting for someone to buy it? And my whole goal is, how do we don't ruin it for somebody who buys it by telling them what's going to happen?
Right. Yeah, that's a hard balance.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you, Raquel. She said it is hard. I'm sure she's referring to something else, but it's perfect right there.
Well, I'm sure she's had the same problem with her covers where they're like, let's tell them who dies, how they die, when they die, and everything but the killer. And you're like, oh, let's not. I worked for months to make that a secret.
Right. Yeah, don't do that. Publishers don't do that.
So, I mean, I've learned when I read now, as a reader, don't read the back of the book either.
Yes. I don't really, I want to know what the kind of theme of the series is, and that's it, because I don't want too much spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Another person on panel. Thank you, Paul. As the other person, thank you for joining us.
I think Paul reads a lot of, I know he does, reads a lot of horror and stuff, so I don't know if he reads too many cozy mysteries, but we are so glad you are here because maybe we're pulling you in.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now. So true. Absolutely. I'm not sure what we're so true because we're probably pretty far behind, but that's okay. I like it.
Oh, thanks.
It's a great Facebook group. I'm going to have to go. Is it a public group that anybody can join?
Yep. You just have to answer the question that says something about you are not going to try to spam the group. Because, that happens so often. We're like, somebody will want to join the group and we want everybody there. We want everybody to come in and have fun. But we have 12 authors that put their heart and soul in the book, and they work so much to bring fun stuff and to keep the group, energetic and fun activities and rewards. And then someone who doesn't know what the group is will come in and start like peppering, hey, buy my book for 99 cents on Amazon. We're like, okay, that's great. That is great. And there is a place for that. It's just not in our group. And I encourage you to promote yourself 100% outside of here. Because we don't even promote ourselves throughout the week. We have one day where we're allowed to promote ourselves because nobody wants to come and say, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Because by now I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm not, I was interested until you tried to choke me. I'm no longer interested. So, you have to answer that one question, but that's the heart and the soul of the question. You're not coming in here so you can keep telling us about your own book, right? That's all we want to know. But other than that, come on in. It's fun. Every day it's a new author.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's only 12 of us. So every day it's one of the 12 of us, but we take turns. Every day it's one of us. In fact, I'm on Wednesday. My next day is Wednesday.
That is really cool. Cozy Mystery Crew.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun group. We show you pictures of our real life and we play games. And I've played Name That Tune stuff before. I've said, mention a song that has the weather in the title or something like that. We'll play that all day. The thing is, we don't just put stuff up. We will talk back. That's the main thing. The whole thing is we host a day, we talk back. So makes it fun.
That's so fun. Yeah, Paul, he said that is why I read different genres. I think that was when we were talking about like cozy should be cozies, romance should be this. You know what I mean? They should fall into their category because even within the subcategory, if that's what they are, then that's, I don't want to go into even we've been talking about how even covers, when they look like something and then there's something else, like a really cute cartoon cover on a romance, I'm thinking it's just going to be a light rom-com.
Yeah.
And then it's like dark academia, almost on the borderline of erotica. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I went in thinking,
Yep.
looking at this cute cover,
Right.
thinking there was going to be a play about Romeo and Juliet, or, I don't know.
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
that's,
Well, I
and
knew there was this big joke for a while because every cozy mystery had to have a cat. And
oh yeah.
well, mine has a cat. Mine has a cat because I'm a cat person. I wasn't like checking a box, like, well, I've got to have a cat, so let's make up a cat. Figaro is real. Like, Figaro was my cat for many years. And now he only exists in the books and in my imagination, but he's still real. So nobody can tell me otherwise. But like, I have pictures of Figaro that are not flattering because it's just, it's like the 90s. I took a picture of the cat sitting on the laptop. But everybody had to have a cat. So publishers were like, people like cats. Let's put cats on the cover. Only there's no cat in the book.
Yes.
People were furious. Where's the cat? I read the book because you said there was a cat. Meanwhile, my book has a cat only on 2 of the 7 covers. I can't explain it. I'm like, look, right here. There's a money shot. Put the cat in the book. Like, he's got a bigger following than I have on Instagram. People love these pictures of Figaro. One lady one time asked me, Figaro is sitting in a cafe with a cup of espresso and a croissant, and he's wearing a beret, and you can see behind him he's in France. And she's like, how do you get him to sit still for the hat? And I'm like, well, he's just a very good cat. So I don't have the heart to explain to her what Photoshop is. Now, see, I do have 2 pictures of Miss Eliza dressed up in costume, that she is literally dressed in costume. One, she's Princess Leia, which she thought she was going to die. The bun, she was like, oh, you're killing me. You could see her head's like this because the way she's like, I'm going to die from this.
Oh,
I know
no.
it. This is my end.
This is how it's going to go.
She's dressed as the dog is dressed as Scooby-Doo and the cat is dressed as Velma. And she really is stuffed into the outfit. She's wearing the wig. She's wearing the wig. I photoshopped on the glasses because she said that's where she drew the line. So I had to respect that. But at least she's not sitting like she's, being tortured.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, I think that the music one will be really fun. Hey, Kelly from Ontario, Canada. Glad you're here.
Wow, so far away.
Hi, Raquel. I have the hardcover of Mango Mambo
and Murder.
Yes.
Fabulous title. And there's another one coming out. She'll have to type in the thing what the next one is, Raquel, because I've just gone blank. I'm confused. And like my title, I can see the cover in my head, but I've gone totally blank on what it is. That's just shameful, but that's how my brain works. It's very hit or miss. I can't tell you how many times I have to use a thesaurus for words for like walk and smile, because I will go totally blank. I know the word. I only ever use words I know. Like, I don't look in a thesaurus and find some big, long, fancy word and use that. If there's a word in my book, I already knew what it meant, but I probably couldn't think of it. My one big word I know where people think for sure I got from the thesaurus is ubiquitous. I actually know what ubiquitous means. Other than that, I have to look up very simple, basic words in the thesaurus because I would just go totally blank. It's terrible.
That's funny. That is a great title. The Caribbean Kitchen. Yes, I know exactly which one, because, like I said, I'm liking all the new ones.
Well, thank
you. Just kind of the diverse, things that we got going on. Cation said, your third superpower is fantastic humor. Yes.
Thank you.
Who needs Shazam when we have Libby Klein? Like beat Shazam.
That's very sweet. Not everybody agrees with you all, but thank you. It's nice to know somebody thinks that.
Raquel said, thanks, Mel Mac. I hope you enjoy it. Mm-hmm. I want Libby to say bubble 5 times fast.
I think that's supposed to be booble. Is that my
Oh, yes, it is. I said it wrong. Dang.
Booble. That sadly was a legitimate effort, guys. That was it. That's as good as it gets. So
that is funny. Mel said I can't whistle either. I don't
even understand what people are doing.
I can whistle like the just, I don't know, normal, but I can't do the like cat call, like where people put it in their mouth and like the high pitched real. I can't do that.
I can't do any of it. Nothing.
Class Reunions Are Murder is the first book in the Poppy series. You won't regret it. You'll be
I don't
hooked.
see it. There it is. It's
Yeah,
behind the
the
pink.
pink one.
Yeah, I looked out on hot pink. I used to tell people when it was out, they're like, what does your book look like? I said, it's hot pink. Oh, it's the hot pink one because there was the only one. There was antique auctions must be. There it is. Look at that. There it is in front of the flowers.
So excited for it.
Thank you.
Yes. Had that happen when I lived on Long Island and there was a big house party down the road and people parked their cars in our driveway? My father was furious. That's a lot of kahunas just to park in somebody's driveway.
People have like things that they put in their driveway that say don't park here. They'll put up those orange cones. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are like, because the closer you are to the beach, the more likely you're going to have somebody park in your driveway and block you in or just do something crazy. And, it's probably cheaper to pay the ticket than to like constantly feed the meter. Now the meters are like those new ones where like, it's linked to your phone. So you can like be sitting on the beach and feed the meter. You used to have to walk down there and put quarters in the meter.
Well, and I live near the beach and about half an hour. And what I've noticed is, and I'm like, that is brilliant. Like people will turn their yards into parking lots and they'll charge like $20.
Wow.
But it'll be like their yard. And just out there, he's the guy though, out there with a stack of cash. I mean, if you're willing to let him drive through your yard, I guess. But I'm like, I think he thinks, if they're going to do it anyways, might as well capitalize on it. And I'm like, more power to you, bud. I mean,
he's got his retirement scheme alive and well there. $25 seems like a lot. I know that did an Easter egg hunt sound like I was like impressed with myself. I was like, wow, this actually sounds fun. Yes. I thought, this would be fun. And the more I thought about it, and the more I developed it, the more I was like, can we get them to do this? I told my girlfriend who I went to high school with, who still lives there, I said, see if you can get them to actually do this Easter egg hunt. So it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I don't know if they still do it, but in St. Louis a few years ago before we moved, they did like adult Easter egg hunts and they would be like, the prizes would be like other thing. They wouldn't be candy. It would be like.
No, see, that's what I just made up. That is totally what I made up. But see, I have never heard of an adult Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, I don't know if they did them every year, if it was for something, I don't remember, but it's an awesome idea. I wish they would do it all the time. I think a lot of people would be drawn to that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, if the stuff's glow in the dark, you just put like a bunch of decoy stuff out, like glow in the dark, like those little tub ducks, so now they see something, but they don't know that it's going to be the actual Easter eggs. And charity, I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. There's a lot of events. I didn't make stuff up. Like I didn't make up the like Mischief Night. I didn't make that up. That's real.
I'd never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that other people didn't know what it was until I was like, I said, this is my next book. Here's what it's going to be. Told my writers group, and they're all like, what the heck is Mischief Night? And then when I like looked it up, I found out it is very localized. So I had no idea, but it is very accurate for my books because that's where they do it, is Cape May. Well, the whole area, the whole Cape May County, probably New Jersey, Philly, that area. Yeah, that's not made up at all. Oh, see?
Oh, see, yeah. We had Mischief Night in Princeton, Somerville, New Jersey area too. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard that. Silent Nights Are Murder has to happen. Has to. I agree.
Yes, planning.
I agree.
Yeah, be fun.
Libby, if you ever asked to write under a pen name, do you know what it would be?
Yeah, it's called Libby Klein. Yes, Libby Klein is my grandmother. So Libby Klein is a pen name. It's much cuter than my actual name. So that's why I went with Libby Klein.
Oh. So Libby Klein is your grandmother's name?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's my grandma. And yet not the Aunt Ginny grandmother. The other grandmother. The other grandmother who then gave me a fit when I had a baby girl and did not name her Elizabeth. Like I didn't realize I was required to do that, but apparently it was fully expected. So I dropped the boat on that one. It did not go well.
Wow. Well, a little heads up would have been, great.
I mean, it was a requirement. It was a requirement, and then my cousin had the audacity to name her first kid Elizabeth, and I never lived it down. That was it. I never lived it down. It was very passive aggressive too. Yeah, thought you would maybe name your daughter Elizabeth. Well, I didn't even think of it. I was like, sorry. Yeah, I heard that Restaurant Weeks has to be out for reprint because the only way you find a copy right now is if some store has one that's been sitting there. I mean, I'd love to believe my books fly off the shelf and they don't last, but for like a couple of days. But I'm sure, like you said, you found on Barnes and Noble. So I'm sure that there are stores that have Restaurant Weeks, but like any main outlet that has only brand new books, I think I have to find out. I have to find out if they're reprinting it or what they're doing because it's time. I know it's time because clearly they've run out of what they had when they first ran them. Plus, as an author, when you get your statements, if you've earned out your advance, and if you earn out your advance, that means they sold all of them that they made. Like if they say we're going to print 4,000, once you've earned out your advance, that they sold all 4,000. So,
that's so interesting. See, I never heard of that. Love JC. Yeah, the Sophie Campbell series is great. I love Food Network shows. That's probably why Restaurant Orders are my favorite so far. Yeah.
Yay.
Summer, yeah. Hannah said that's why my parents say all the time, of course it's not going to taste good. In Chopped.
Yeah. And they're always surprised. Like, this is soggy. And you're like, well, I mean, look at what you put in the basket. Of course it is. Those poor chefs, they try so hard.
Yes.
I can't even.
Yeah. Have antique auctions are murder on hold at my library. That's awesome, Kelly.
Right, because you said you were in Ontario. So, yay, fun.
That's awesome. Hey, Breezy. Said, love Poppy. I really enjoy hearing what inspires your books. That's awesome.
There's a lot of real world things in my books, things that have actually happened to me. Yes, well, Fig is incredibly naughty, so he does. The stuff that he gets up to in antique auctions, he's got girl trouble. Trouble happening in antique auctions. So, yes. Well, he had a girlfriend, or he had a love interest.
Yes, I was staying there.
Yes, Portia, and she broke his heart. So he's sworn off women. Can't say anything else.
But he needed a break.
Yes, he needed a break.
Hannah, you are well on your way there. I say, Hannah's a little sass, like in a lovely way.
I want to be a biddy when I get older too. Those are our goals, Hannah. You and me. We're going to go clubbing, and we're going to be like, I don't know how he's going to fit any more money in there. We're going to be that. We're going to be the biddies. So that'll be us.
Absolutely. I used to say I wanted to be a golden girl. And then, I don't know, Betty White for a while did the show Off Your Rockers.
Yes.
Where it was like seniors pranking young people. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. I so hope that I could be there someday. It was the best. Oh,
I don't think I ever saw that. I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I've ever watched an episode. Now you've made it sound so intriguing. I'm going to have to go find it online. I don't think I realized that
funny.
It was.
It's just old people pranking like young people, I mean, there's this lady sitting in a church and this young couple comes in and she's talking to somebody and she's like, do you see that guy that I'm talking to? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, why, is something wrong? She's like, well, that's my husband. And they're like, okay. And she's like, well, he's been dead 40 years. And they all it's just like stuff like, it's so funny. They just mess with these young kids. It's hilarious.
That is so funny. I've got, now that my in-laws live with me, I've got so much material that I don't know what to do with. I mean, the other day, my mother-in-law pulls out these gigantic horse pills that are fish oil.
Oh, yeah.
I can't take these. I can't swallow them. Okay, well, let's throw them away. No, I don't want to throw them away. I'm keeping them. For what? Just in case. Just in case what? In case I have to take them. But you can't swallow them, right? So let's throw them away. No, I'm keeping them. But why? Just in case. Okay. The doctor says to you, I want you to start taking fish oil. What do? I'm going to go to the store and buy a smaller pill. Okay, so what are these for? Just in case. You need a mascot fish oil pill? What is this for?
Oh my God.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, and I think it's something, my grandmother who I was talking about earlier, she was talking about her mom, like when she passed away. Well, her mom would always say for every gift, they'd be like, Mom, are you gonna wear your new shirt? I got you. Oh no, I want to save it for, later. And like it was still in the packages when she passed away because she was saving it. And she was like 90 something, but she was saving it.
I think for the last 10 years of my grandmother's life, every gift I got came with a caution not to tell someone else in the family she gave me this. Because she's gifting something they gave her. Here are some sheets. Don't tell Aunt Diane. I'm like, okay, so Aunt Diane gave you these sheets and you're giving them to me, right? That's what's happening here. So yeah, everything. You could tell everything she was regifting. I think one time she might have given me something I gave her. But she thought my cousin had done it. So she's like, don't tell your cousin Chris. I'm like, actually, I'm the one that gave you this. She got caught.
That's hilarious. Kay said, Kay's my mother-in-law. She said the old biddies and your cozy sound delightful, and I can probably relate to them. So looking forward to reading your series. Yes, Kay. You totally should.
They're fun. And like
really fun.
They're called the biddies. They're not called the old biddies, even though they are. They're not called that though. But they're called the biddies out of love. They're not, it's not a slur. It's not meant as any kind of a derogatory. Poppy adores these ladies. They're all like grandmothers to her. So it's a term of endearment, and they start to make fun of her. I think somebody mentioned by the fourth book, they start to tease her. We know you call us the biddies. Well, wait till you find out what they call her, because that's coming up soon. We're going to find out. They also have a nickname for her that they've never heard of. So you're going to find that out coming up pretty soon here.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. The biddies will blow up a car and nobody will be shocked. Yeah. No, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Like, except they don't blow up cars. And then I'm like, well, actually, the biddies might have that happen.
Absolutely could. It is not unrealistic at all. And she's right. Poppy would be like, did you blow up my car? not be surprised.
Kay, I know you read, she reads the Stephanie Plum. It's like a group of Grandma Mazers all together.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, yep. Lisa Kay. It's good to see you. Rose said, Cozies let you escape the stresses of the day. Totally agree. I found Cozies during the good old pandemic, and it is because I was looking for something that just brought me joy. Now I am down the rabbit hole and I just can't stop. Yes, Daylin. That is awesome.
And one of the things I love about Cozies is because they, you'll read a book, whatever book, it could be a romance novel, it could be fantasy. And if it's not a series, right, when you're done, there's that mourning period of being done. And I don't know what's wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. But if I read a book that's like a historical, it's like, say it takes place in the 1600s, I will love it. And then get to the end, oh, they're all dead, aren't they? So stupid. I mean, first of all, they're fiction, right? But still, I'm like, man, if they were born in the 1600s, they'd be dead now. And I agree that they died. And it's like, get a hold of yourself. But with a series, like with a Cozy series, they just go on and on. You never have to say goodbye. And that was another reason why I wanted to write Cozies, because when I was done, I didn't want to be finished. I didn't want to be done with Aunt Ginny and Figaro. And I wanted to keep going.
That's a great point, because that's another reason that I'm very character driven. So I like the mystery part, but I come back for the characters. I come back to see what Aunt Ginny is doing this time. I come back to see what's going on with Fig, and the town. And I'm that kind of reader. And I think other people do this too. I don't think I'm the only person, but it's kind of a weird thing like that. Not exactly that, but like if I know a series is ending, in my mind, if I don't read it yet, it's not over. So yeah. I don't read it. And I have a couple that I haven't read the last book to, and I really want to know what happens, but I just can't face it being over yet.
Absolutely. I do that with TV shows too. There's TV shows that I've watched over and over and over and over. And when I get to the last episode, I skip it and I go back to the pilot. I don't want to see, the last episodes are sad to me. I don't want to see the ending of whatever, The Office, The IT
Yep.
I don't want to see the last episode. So I go right and back up to the first one again.
That's so funny. I'm the same way with same way with TV shows too. I agree. LOL, your author's note at the end of wine tastings that our murder had me laughing. I don't remember.
I'm
I'll have to
tempted
go
to
back
reach
and look.
behind me and take a look at it, but thank you. My my author bio was really weird too. The editor at Kensington, when he asked me to write my bio and I wrote it and I turned it in, he said, "Don't you want to do something more professional sounding?" And I said, "Well, if anybody reads that bio and they laugh, they're gonna buy the book because it's just gonna be more of the same craziness." So he let it stay, and I do have people who will write to me and say, "I read the bio, and that's why I bought the book." So
there you go.
they're
There you go.
definitely not academic cozies. They're very funny, but they definitely are all about the humor.
Yes. I prefer cozies because I need to escape. Yeah, Donna, absolutely.
Yeah, same.
I recently read a scene where Poppy and Sawyer are arguing over who has to ride as Anthony's passenger. It gets a bit physical.
Sawyer's been Poppy's best friend since fifth grade. She knows. She knows the price that's going to be paid if you're Antony's passenger. Yes, absolutely. That's what's happening.
I like gritty mysteries, so when I read a cozy, I want fun and lighthearted. If I want darker, I'll pick up the gritty. 100% Storm, well put.
Definitely.
I love a well-plotted mystery that makes me think to solve it, surrounded by fluff and fun. Yeah.
I think, hopefully, that's a good description of what I write. That's definitely my goal. That's my goal. And the fluff and fun are not always planned. A lot of times, the crazier stuff in the books was not planned ahead of time. It just comes out while I'm writing. A lot of figuring Aunt Jenny stuff was not planned beforehand.
I never figure out who solves it, so I'm always this always falls well into me. It's well plotted. It makes me think to solve it. I never solve it. And it's surrounded by fluff and fun. So you got me.
Right. Every once in a while, it's not very often, but every once in a while somebody says they figured it out early on. And I think occasionally we have a hunch that pans out. Because really, up until the last couple of chapters, it could be anybody. I mean, all you have to do is write a couple chapters to reveal differently, and it could be anybody in there. So it's very hard, well, at least with my books and a lot of others. But I can't say every single. I mean, I did read somebody's book once that only had one suspect, and I thought, this guy's either a genius and he's going to pull something fabulous out, or he needed somebody to tell him, you need some red herrings. And it turned out to be the latter, where he needed some more red herrings. But for a while there, I was thinking, I cannot wait to see what he's going to magically pull out here. But yes, up until the very end, it's written to where it could be anybody. So if you figured it out early on, you had a hunch.
I don't. I never get hunches. So as Ringo gives his signature peace signs. Yeah. Talking about the Beatles cozy. Absolutely. Yeah. And they were really fun. She did a really good job with like the actual Beatles characters in the book. They were good.
Fun.
Hey Scorpio, it's good to see you.
Hi.
Spoilers review is a major no. I agree, Lisa. I don't like it. I agree.
Yes. The person who reads my reviews for me will tell me they get very frustrated when they see a lot of spoilers. And I'm like, I can't tell you. I have nothing to do with the reviews. Yeah, I agree, Kelly, 100%. And I'm like, for me, I plot my books for it to be a mystery. The first act mystery is who dies. It's not, and how they die. Some people want you to know, the chef is going to die. And we have to find out who in the kitchen. I'm like, but I kind of want you to wonder who's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of the fun. So I agree with you.
I absolutely agree. Partly because it's the only thing I usually get right. Like I can usually figure out who the victim is. As soon as like they start acting a fool, I'm like, oh, it's you. And that's about all I can figure out in Cozy. So I need that. Let me have it. Let me have it. So I don't want all those details. I totally agree. When it comes to Tim versus Gia, I go back and forth with who I think Poppy should end up with. I'm halfway through Theater Nights. Definitely prefer one over the other, but I know that could change.
Everyone who's read past was going,
yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, I got nothing because I'm not. Yes, keep reading, Mel. I don't read the back of the book either. Yeah.
Smart.
Well, Mac, you should message me in the Discord who you prefer. Yeah, I do kind of want to know who you're thinking that you prefer.
I do too. Tell us who do you want her to end up with?
I like a catchy tagline that doesn't spoil anything, just a snazzy one-liner, so I don't have to read the blurb, but still think, oh yeah, reading that. Yes, no, that's a great yes. I want like kind of what the series is, and maybe like a one-liner, exactly what you're saying, and that is it. Just something to intrigue me. Nothing else.
Yes.
I love Figaro, especially if it's advice letter in your newsletters. I always laugh out loud.
Yes, Figaro considers himself the next Dear Abby. So in my newsletter that you can sign up for, it's the only thing that I have that's not on social media. It comes to your email. He has an advice column. He's pretty full of himself, really. People will write in and ask him questions. And a lot of those, I mean, people have written these things and these are his answers. And I mean, sometimes he's kind of rude, but I'm like, he's a cat. What did you want him to say? I think somebody once wrote in that they couldn't stay out of eating all the snacks. And he was like, I don't see the problem. So I don't know what to tell you. He's very naughty.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, he's a cat. In the end, I mean, yeah. I prefer dogs on the covers. I like any animal when they're on the covers. I really do. Your cats are so cute.
Thank you. And I think it's wine tastings. There's not a dog on the cover. I felt like there should have been. But there is Figaro's nemesis. He has a nemesis show up named Tammy Faye Baker. And Tammy Faye Baker is a Pomeranian. And she is just as naughty as he is.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl. I've been watching on TV, but I wanted to say hi. Put your books on hold at the library. That's awesome, Cheryl.
Thank you. Did you all know that if your library does not have my books, you can request them? The library buys them. So, like, if you don't have them at the library, that's one real easy way. Like, I love when people read my books and love them. That's what means the most to me. And then they tell me they love them, and that's what it was all about. But then there's also times like my aunt will tell me, I shared your book that you gave me for free with my 27 friends, and they all loved it. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that for a minute. I love it. But like, you can actually get the books at the library instead of waiting for my Aunt Linda to pass you her copy. So that's another option. Tell the library that you want Libby's books and they'll get them for you if they don't have them. Although I don't think anybody's ever told me their library doesn't have my books. One person one time did. They said they lived in a very, very poor area. And so I sent the library the books because they didn't have a lot of books. They didn't have a lot of anybody's books. So I sent them books, but most of the time they're there.
Yeah. And libraries, I feel like you're saying, they've gotten much better about like it. Just if you want to request a book that they don't have, they're much better with getting those copies. And Cheryl's in Canada too. So Canada is definitely got the Libby Klein books.
Yes. Well, and great. I have a friend in Canada named Grace who also reads my books. So I know she gets them, but it's still exciting to hear that they're in Canada.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I wish I could give everyone in the world a thesaurus because I am sick of the F word. We all need to get more.
Me too.
Better. Yeah.
Me too. I saw Carol Burnett in concert one time, and she said the same thing. She said if she could make one change she was talking about TV shows, of course, but she said, find a new word. Really? I mean, if the F word is so overdone, find a new word, be smarter. And I just really appreciate that. Of course, she is one of my favorite inspirations in the whole world. And if I could pick anyone to play Aunt Ginny in a TV show or movie, it would be Carol Burnett.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's not based on Carol Burnett. She's based on my actual grandmother, but my actual grandmother was a lot like Carol Burnett in a lot of her sketches. And in fact, she's the one that turned me on to Carol Burnett when I was little. I'd go visit her. And that's what we would do. We would watch Carol Burnett and eat sandwiches. I'd eat sandwiches in the living room and watch Carol Burnett. But it was wonderful.
That is awesome. The Buffalo Bills Stadium is not in Buffalo. It's in the suburbs, the town I live in, and many homes near the stadium turn their front yards into parking lots on game days. I guess more power capitalize on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, here in Delaware too. Oh, for the library?
Beach.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good.
I think, I don't know. Maybe she means the beach. Maybe she means
Oh, well, that could be too.
or the library. I don't know. I've done a great a book signing in Delaware, Rehoboth. What's the name of that bookstore? See, I told you guys, I go blank on weird things. Like I probably would have known it a few minutes ago. I want to say Browse About. That doesn't mean it's right. It could be in Arizona, but I thought it was Browse About books. So somebody will look it up and they'll be like, yeah, that's not what it's called. But it was Rehoboth. That part is for real because I got a picture of Figaro on top of the Dolly's sign for the saltwater taffy. So, but they were lovely people. I really liked being there. And there is no bookstore in Cape May. Not a good one.
Oh, there's not?
Mm-mm. There's a tiny little one on the mall. It's not the same.
I'm actually surprised because I would think, I don't know, I would think it would be. That's interesting.
Yeah, no. When I've done my events in Cape May, I've done them at the Inn of Cape May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Inn of Cape May. In fact, when I did my event at the Inn of Cape May, I think Browse About Books in Rehoboth provided the books, not the little shop on the mall. So
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, everyone.
She said yes. The videos are definitely sounding like a lot of fun. Yes,
They are.
Yes, absolutely. One series I read and love actually had the cat pass away. I had to put the book down and cry for the cat. It took a while to go back and finish it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like every once in a while, somebody will say to me, please don't kill off Figaro or Aunt Jenny. And I'm like, what am I, an animal? The whole point of writing a series, I'm never, ever going to kill off Figaro and Aunt Jenny, ever. I promise you.
Yeah.
I'm not one day going to get bored and be like, I've run out of ideas. I know, let's kill Aunt Jenny and Figaro like a car bomb. It's not going to happen. Trust me.
Yeah.
That would be very hard for me too.
Yeah.
I get very emotionally attached. Not just, the ones I'm making up, but when I read, I get very emotionally attached.
No, absolutely. I do too. May I ask why your books are not on Kindle Unlimited? What are your feelings about KU?
Well, first of all, I'm out of my depth talking about Kindle Unlimited because what I'm going to say, I can't promise I'm 100% accurate. Okay. I believe a lot of the books on Kindle Unlimited are either self-published or older. And I think Class Reunions was on Kindle Unlimited because it is now, 5 years old? Something like that. My books are not on Kindle Unlimited because I am traditionally published. I don't have any control over that. Kindle Unlimited, I think, is sort of a contract where you have to agree to put your books on Kindle Unlimited as part of the program, and somebody has to sign that contract. And in my case, it would be my publisher and not me, because my publisher owns the series, not me. If I ever get to where I'm not going to be renewed, I can go elsewhere with my series. But until that comes, I can't just write a book about Poppy and Aunt Ginny and Cape May on my own and sell it to someone else. I can't do that because I'm under contract with Kensington. So I think Kindle Unlimited is a great platform and a great way to get a lot of books, especially if you're a very voracious reader. Cozy mystery readers are crazy. They read a book a day. I'm impressed. And that's a great place to get it. So a long time ago, I had Kindle Unlimited and didn't love the books because the books available on Kindle Unlimited were not great, because every self-published book can be great if it has a good editing.
Mm-hmm.
And a long time ago, a lot of people would self-publish books because they just could not get them published. And they just throw things up there and they're not edited. There's spelling mistakes. They're crazy. And you're like, what is wrong? And you don't realize that's what's wrong. There was there was process that was not done. I don't think it's like that anymore. I think there's a lot of excellent self-published books that are professionally edited, professionally designed, and they've gone through the same rigors that traditionally published books have gone through. But the control that you have with self-published gives you the ability to put your books on Kindle Unlimited, and I don't have that ability. So unless my publisher sells them to Kindle Unlimited, this is never going to be there. Just like if my publisher broke a contract with Barnes and Noble. And suddenly you'd be like, why aren't your books on Barnes and Noble? I don't know. I have no control over who's selling the books. I'm just hoping that somebody's buying them. So I'm very fortunate that my books are everywhere. I don't think there's anywhere that doesn't sell my books. You can even walk into an independent bookstore, and if it's not on the shelf, it's in their catalog because they come from Penguin, one of the big five publishing houses that distribute. Because Kensington is part of Penguin.
Okay.
That's a long answer to say why they're not on Kindle Unlimited, because I don't control where they go. And those are specially contracted for Kindle Unlimited. And check. Class somebody told me they got Class Reunions on Kindle Unlimited. That could be because it's old now. It came out in 2018. So check, that one might be there. But the rest of them, I don't think are. However, here's a tip, which you probably all know. When you have a new book coming out, like I do in a week, they will put the other books on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Did I already say this? Because I said this somewhere else. It might not have been right here since we've been talking, but right now, Class Reunions is the ebooks. The Class Reunions is $2.99, and then Theater Nights, Wine Tastings, and Beauty Expos are all 99 cents because of books coming out. Like once Antique Auctions is out, February 22nd, they're not all going to continue on sale forever. You're going to go months and months where they're like $8. And then when Mischief Nights is about to come out, boom, sale. Books are going to go on sale. So other than a pre-release sale, occasionally you'll see a sale where somebody worked, Kobo works up a lot of sales, and they'll tell us, hey, you have 2 books on Kobo for 99 cents. So anyways, I hope that answers your Kindle Unlimited question the way you were hoping it did.
Yeah. I don't know much about it either. I love KU, but that's just it. That's all I know. I just joined the Cozy Mystery Crew Facebook. I had to answer the question, which Cozy Mystery I most recently finished, which was for me, Restaurant Weeks or Murder. That's awesome.
Yay. That's to weed out people who don't have the slightest idea what a cozy mystery is, and they're trying to get into as many groups as they can. You passed that test. Good for you, Melback. We're so glad to have you. You'll have fun in there. It's a lot of fun authors in there.
That is so cool. Oh my God, Libby, I do the same thing when I read some types of books. I stopped reading biographers because I would think, well, they're dead.
I know. We're weird, but I get why you're having that problem. Same. I actually go into status. Like if it's a book right now, you can read about Poppy right now. And when the book's over, you're like, oh, I bet she's over having coffee somewhere. You can think, oh, how fun. I wonder what she's doing now. But you read a book about people who clearly are not still alive, right? For the Revolutionary War. It's like, you feel like your friend just passed, like, oh, that's sad. What else can I read quickly? I have put books down and then picked up another book because I'm like, I got to move on because I'm too upset about how this one just ended. So it's crazy, but I do the same thing.
Yeah. Hey, Lily.
Hi, Lillian.
It's good to see you. Said, good afternoon, Libby. I'm so excited to see what kind of trouble Aunt Ginny and the Biddies will get into.
Oh, girl.
Me too, Lillian. Me too. I'm so excited for it.
Brace yourself.
I'm so excited for it. I know I'm going to try to get through these and then we'll wrap up. I'm sorry I kept you so long. We were just talking and I didn't even realize how long it's been. At this point, halfway through Theater Nights, prefer Gia, but during a lot of restaurant weeks I prefer Tim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Lillian wants to know any chance of Figaro having a little love interest like Tammy Faye Baker.
Like with the dog? I don't know.
Iranian.
I would never say never. I would never say never. Figaro, you're gonna have to wait and see who his love interests turn out to be in future books. Buckle up.
Oh boy. I just signed up for Libby's newsletter. I don't know why I didn't sign up as soon as I finished Class Reunions. Yeah, that's awesome.
Great. I do try to keep them going.
There you go. I got Class Reunions on KU.
Yay. Yes, I don't think the rest of them are there, and that's new because it was not on Kindle Unlimited for a very long time. So that's very new that it's on there.
That's awesome. I've got to avoid spoilers, including Wine Tastings, Explosive Ending. I'm reading that, and Beauty Expos in April. I want to read these 2 back to back, and want to read Beauty Expos around Easter. Ooh, okay.
Yes, I did write them very seasonally for sure. Especially Theater Nights is Valentine's Day. And then wine tastings is like in between. And then beauty expos is Easter. And then after that is midsummer. And then we go to Halloween. And then we go to Christmas. So yeah, I did write very seasonally.
I love it. I'm a seasonal reader. I like to, I mean, I will read a series in order. So I will read them even if it's, Christmas, if it's the next book and it's in April, that's fine. But during Christmas, I only want to read Christmas books. So I'm a very seasonal reader. So I enjoy that.
Yes.
If I have a need for trigger warning in a book, or maybe it would be, does the animal die? If the answer is yes, I don't read or watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. None of mine are ever going to die. None of them. Not even like a random animal. I watched something with my husband, and I think it was a hunting. Like they were hunting, but I was like, all right, you just tell me when this part's over because I don't want to know anything about this. It's too upsetting. I don't even want to think about the food chain. Okay. If I could be a vegetarian and live, I would do it 100%. But I'm allergic to everything that you can eat except meat. It's very unhappy for me, but that's how it is. So I don't want to think about it. So no, I'm the same. I don't want to know. My big trigger warning is a child is hurt. If a child is going to be hurt, I'm not watching this. I don't want to be a part of it. There's too many other things. There's too many things to watch, too many things to read. I'm not watching something where the child is hurt. You tell me now. So
yeah. Fair enough.
Lillian, how long did it take you to write Class Reunions or Murder? Probably 4 years. Probably 4 years. Some of that 4 years was me avoiding it and playing video games. So
of course.
sitting in front of a computer for 4 years. From the time I had the idea to write something until I tried, I felt like it wasn't working. I struggled. I avoided it. It's amazing how much housework you can get done when you're supposed to be writing a book. So one day I finally saw on a bulletin board a writer's workshop, like how to write, something about how to write. And it was local. And so I called and I signed up for the class because I thought maybe this will help. And I'm telling you, it was life-changing. How to plot a 3-act structure, the elements of writing a scene, because what I would have had without that class would have been a bunch of hilarious scenes that didn't go together in a cohesive story. And the person teaching the class asked me if I would coach with him. And so we talked about it, and I never got to go to college. So we figured instead of me taking a college course, let me try this. Probably the same money, I think, as like community college, I'm guessing. And that coaching experience launched my entire career. It was like taking a course on how to write, and your homework was Class Reunions or Murder. So when the coaching was done, the book was done. It's all my words, but it's having somebody go along with me and saying, all right, but you didn't tell us what the room looks like. Oh, right. And now, why would she do that? How does she feel about that? Instead of telling me she's unhappy, what does unhappy look like? And I worked with a coach who sort of holds your hand and tells you how to think about what you're writing so that you could get, okay, I know you think that you told us that, but that's only in your head. It is nowhere on this page. So maybe put that down. And when I was done, I had Class Reunions, and it took me several months to get an agent. I started at the wrong time of year because they were about to all go away for Thanksgiving and Christmas break. But I was very, very excited. So I started querying agents, which were all ignored and then immediately rejected. And then in the spring, I started querying agents again, and I got 4 who wanted to read the manuscript. And then one, a couple months later, wanted to represent me, and she sold it in 4 minutes. And it is literally the first thing I have ever written.
Wow.
First book I've ever written. I didn't know what I was doing when I started, but it was through taking those classes about how to pace. And I have a natural humor, a natural understanding of dialogue, but man, I could not get it in my head to describe the setting because I knew where they were. I'm like, they're at the beach. What do you need me to tell you? No, you got to write down what. So it was the best thing that I ever did.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm not saying you have to do a coach. I'm certainly not saying that. There are great organizations like Sisters in Crime with the Guppies that have those classes. And I didn't know about Sisters in Crime, so I went this route. But we know now about Sisters in Crime. You can take all those classes about pacing and setting and character and humor. And it would be tremendously helpful for anyone who's wanting to be a writer. So, but I'm very, very blessed that the first thing, it's
Yeah.
almost a miracle that the first thing I ever wrote was actually published. Please don't hate me if you're a writer and you hear that. It was totally, it's a serendipity. It's always serendipity.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Thank you.
I'm not real particular about reading seasonally, but I do like to read the holiday ones around the holiday.
Yeah.
And kind of back to what you said real quick, I always tell people, like, I'm even more impressed how well I like your books and how well they're written because it's a debut series. Because I feel like you see, like, a lot of authors, I love their series, but you can tell there's a huge growth. You know, I mean, like, a lot of times the first book, you're like, oh, I'm going to give them credit because I didn't feel like that at all. Like, I mean, it's spot on. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel that way. I would read it and I'd be like, oh, why did I spend so much time describing this yard? I wish I could it now, but, and like I said, there's things that I need to be more descriptive because people have misunderstood things. They've misunderstood where the character was uncomfortable and they thought the character was judging somebody. It was just things that I would love to go back and fix. People are going to be offended when they are looking for things to be offended over. But
Sure.
There were a couple of things I could have done a better job describing because you're offended at something that's not happening. You're misunderstanding, and that's probably my fault that you're misunderstanding it. I needed to do better. But I'm very, very fortunate that people tell me my books get better and better, and that means a lot to me because I do work hard to make them better for you. I do work hard to make them better mysteries, and I want you to love them. I want you to really get a lot out of them. I don't know why they keep getting longer. That is an accident. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, somebody did tell me one time my books were too long back in the class reunion days. And they're actually contracted to be that long. But the longest ones, which are the 3 most recent ones, I don't know what happens. I don't know. I mean, I'm really not trying. It's just so many funny things keep happening. So
I'm good with it. So no explanation needed on my end because I love all the humor. I don't want them to end, so I'm fine with it being
get
long.
your money's worth for sure because they're so big.
Yeah. Hannah said, yeah, it was in September. The rest of the books, including wine tastings, were from the Libby app. Oh, wine tastings. Fitting, it's my favorite in the series. Okay, boo. What was I going to say? So the new book,
Antique auctions
are murder. It comes out February 22nd.
Yeah, I was doing my promo stuff and it's 022222 and I was like, what? Why didn't I not know that till now?
I'm so excited for it. I think a few of us are going to probably buddy read it, I'm sure, so that we can all talk about it. Hannah's caught up because we're all like, we talk about it all the time anyway. So,
it's so exciting.
The Poppy books are longer than most Cozies by 5 feet. Yes. And and authors say
that point. He says that they're very fast reading and they're very fun. And that's why when they contracted me, they were contracted for longer. If it was a slow book, you will never get away with a 100,000 word book that you're slogging through. But I have not tried to make them longer. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, I can, and it's funny because an author said to me kind of recently something about no matter how long I write them or how fast I write them, if you're reading, like you guys as readers, we read them in a day and then they're like, when's the next one? And they're like,
I'm exhausted.
February 23rd. It's February 23rd.
Yeah.
You'll be getting email. It's like, oh my God, when's the next book coming out? Because we devour them, and they're like, even no matter how fast I get at writing, how fast I get them, it's never, and I'm like, well, that's probably fair because I read, yeah.
Well, and from a promotion standpoint, you always want your books to sell well because the better a book sells, the publisher buys more, you get to write more books come out.
Yeah.
If you guys loved the book, but you all shared one copy, my publisher would not renew me. He'd be like, you have 800 reviews, but you've sold one book. Well, I mean, they don't renew you when you've sold one book. Right. I don't care that I've sold one book. I'm thrilled. But then he's like, yeah, we're not paying for one book. So that's kind of, that kind of happens. But they, I forgot what I was going to say. I heard ding, 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 ding.
I'm sorry, that was me.
I totally forgot what I was saying. It'll come back to me. Maybe.
They won't buy one book, even if 800 reviews are made.
No.
Oh.
No. Oh, I know. It's the NetGalley bloggers.
Oh, yeah.
They will email me. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. When does the next one come out? I'm like, this one's not even out.
Yeah.
It's not out for a week. It's
Yeah.
a lot of writing for like zip through. I'm amazed. There's people who have told me that they're on their second time around reading them. I'm just like, you're my hero.
Yeah.
You're my hero.
That's funny. And yeah, that, I mean, when when you like a book that much, it's easy to like, just engorge and, read the whole thing in one setting. I mean, it happens all the time. So I can only imagine. I'm for sure, Buddy. Oh, yay. Okay, well, Buddy, read it. I'm going to do a video gushing over the series. Excellent. I like it, Hannah.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Once I'm caught up, it's going to be hard waiting for Mischief Nights or Murder. Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, sometimes I try to keep one book ahead of me in a series because I always want to be able to, like, pick one up because, these books specifically, Stephanie Plum, all the ones that we were talking about, the humor in, if I'm, like, in a funk, I'm like, oh, I need a Poppy McAllister. I need a Stephanie Plum because I just want to have a good time. But I also want to know what's going on. So it's hard for me, but yes, it is hard waiting on the next one. And then, like I said, that's when you're like, I just wrote this one. It's not even out yet.
Yeah. Like, that's actually what I was saying when I got myself distracted because you were stirring your ding, ding, ding.
I'm sorry.
Ding. It's okay. I knew what it was. You try to promote yourself because you need more and more people to find out about your series so that your series grows. Because they also keep track of how many books, if you sold 100 books of book 1 and by book 7, you're still only selling 100. They're like, she has 100 fans. That is it. So you want to like promote yourself because you want more people to find out about you so you can keep writing. Well, I feel like 11 months of the year, nobody knows who I am. And then 1 month, 50 blogs are posted. You got to read Poppy. And I'm like, God, I wish we could space it out some. So it's wonderful the support from the bloggers and the podcasters and people like yourself who want to talk and know more about the books and, everything we talked about. But it's going to be like all Libby all the time for the next week or two and then nothing for a year. So I have to like pace myself on all the excitement. Hope somebody will like watch the podcast 3 months from now. I'm like, I haven't heard of you. Let me check out class reunions at the library.
Yeah, most of the viewers for the interviews are after because, Sundays is a busy day. And I didn't realize until somebody said it, it's Super Bowl Sunday that your interview is. I'm like, oh. So, yeah. But so yeah, absolutely. People will definitely see it later. Most of the majority of the views come way later. Real quick before you run, do you have any events coming up that you're going to be doing that anybody can like stores or just events?
I have an in-person event at Scrawl Books. I don't know when. I also have an in-person event at One More Page in Arlington. It's on their website. It's in March. I will be at Malice Domestic. Anybody who's like in the whole Mid-Atlantic region who's going to Malice, which is in Bethesda every year. It's a big crime convention. Even if you haven't heard of it, it's a fantastic way to meet a bunch of authors and a bunch of local authors. We go every single year. So many authors will be there. There's panels, there's fun events. It's not a great place to go necessarily if you're a writer looking to be published. Like there's not a lot of contacts. It's a fan convention, but I'll be there. That's April 22nd, 23rd, 24th, I think. So those are the personal appearances that I know about. Scrawl Books, One More Page, Mouse Domestic. And then other than that, I've got a lot of lovely people who are generous enough to put me on podcasts and interviews and bloggers. I've got blogs coming out in Mystery Lover's Kitchen. And
I love that.
I've got the recipe in Mystery Lover's Kitchen. Ooh, I won't spoil it. You'll want to see it, but it is the first thing that I've ever made up that I couldn't find on the internet already. Because like I'll think of something, I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna make up cotton candy cupcakes, and then you'll Google it and somebody's done it. I made this up, and the recipe's in Mystery Lover's Kitchen. You can Google it. Don't nobody know what it is. Nowhere. So I was like, oh, I have finally come up with something nobody has.
That's incredible. I mean, that's really saying something, because I feel like, yeah, that's awesome.
I'm very excited.
I love Mystery Lover's Kitchen. I love it.
And of course, sugar and cinnamon and sugar and a little bit of murder. She's doing a great. She's doing one of the recipes from the book. I won't spoil that, so you can see what it is. Of course, I knew what she was doing, so I didn't do that one. I did a different one. She's doing something very, very, very tasty. It's very addictive.
Her blog is so cool, guys. If you have not visited, it's Kim Davis, and it's cinnamon and sugar and a little bit of murder, right?
That's right.
And a little bit of murder.
When she makes the recipes from the book, I'm like, it did not look that good when I made it. And I mean, I made it up. I did the best I could, but her food art, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
When I put the recipes, the pictures of the food on my blog, if she made it, I use her pictures because it's so much better looking than mine. And I'll be on the Wickeds. I'll be on
awesome blog, everyone, for who is here. She's great.
So really, you know, there's 7 recipes in every book, but right there, one is on Mystery Lover's Kitchen and one is going to be on Kim's cinnamon sugar blog. So that's 2 of the 7 that you can get for free just by watching those blogs come out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, the benefit is not being spoiled. You're absolutely right, Mel.
Yep.
I may have against my cousin who has never read a cozy to try the Poppy McAllister. Oh, you got to bring her to the Discord, Mel.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is awesome.
I had one of the funniest reviews that I ever got was this. It was clearly an older man, and he left me a 1-star review complaining. I don't know why everybody says this book is so funny. Everybody keeps saying, you got to read this, Poppy McAllister. Oh, my God, it's so good. It's so good. It's so funny. I don't think it's that funny. I think it's really a romance novel. She's just saying it's a mystery. And I just thought, this is the best review I think I've ever gotten. It was 1 star, but the way he ranted about how great everybody says my book is and he didn't like it, I thought, this is such a good review. I want to like put it on my website. It's so good.
That's funny. I always tell everyone about your books when I'm at Barnes & Noble. It is hilarious. My hubby laughs at me all the time. There she goes again, talking about Libby's books. LOL. That's hilarious, Lillian. How awesome you are.
She is. Lillian is awesome. I appreciate it. She sent me a video of herself reading the ending of Wine Tastings Are Murder because she knew that an explosion was coming. And I see her, she's reading a lot. She goes, oh! And I was like saving the video. It is the best thing. Oh my God. I wish everybody could have done that. I just loved it. I've showed it to people. I'm like, look, here she's reading the ending.
That is so cool, Lillian. That is such a neat idea. I love that. I love that. Okay. So February 22nd. And then do you know when the next one, the Mischief one, is coming out, the date?
Nope. Okay. If I have any pull, it's going to come out in September. If I have any pull, October the latest, because your books come out with Kensington, your books come out the last Tuesday of the month. And it can come out the last Tuesday of October and still be out before Halloween. But they have a whole schedule. I just know the best time for it would be September, October. But I don't know. It's already February. So I don't know how far out they are. I don't know.
All right. Well, I really had such a good time. Thank you so, so much for coming on again today. It was so much fun. You're hysterical every time. I'm telling you, if you ever go on tour, if you decide that writing is, needs a back burner to comedy, you let me know. Because I want to be at one of your shows.
That's very, very sweet and generous of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for taking the time. I'm sorry we ran over. We were just chatting before I even looked at the clock. So
that's okay.
I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all for coming. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe here to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to Libby's newsletter, go and do that. Mystery Lover's Kitchen, Cozy Mystery Crew. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of fun. Stay up with your cozies. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.